At it again, and we've got to talk about Tucker Carlson. Yeah, major news coming out of the Tucker Carlson camp. All right, and leftist media going a little crazy over it. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in. Now, as you guys see here, if you read this, Tucker Carlson's car equipment has left the Moscow hotel in Russia, where he was staying earlier. Yeah. Tucker is allegedly in Russia. Breaking: Tucker Carlson leaves the Kremlin, concluding his interview with President Putin. Interesante. Yeah. Oh boy. Now, leftist media is going a little crazy over this, and I don't want to say I don't completely know why, because in reality I do. But I'm going to play this clip from CNN, and yeah, I mean, it's an absolute shake your head moment, because it's just absolutely ridiculous, of course. But here it is. Check it out.
A massive shakeup in Kyiv coming as Putin is trying to court the MAGA GOP in the United States. In fact, one of the leaders of the MAGA GOP is in Moscow tonight.
Bro, listen, doesn't this sound like a parody? Doesn't this sound like something that what's it called? What's that parody? What's the parody account that makes like conservative funny stuff? We checked them out before. Crap. What are they? It's not the B. What is it? I'm drawing a blank, but most of y'all know what I'm talking. Comment it down below. What's that account that always makes like the parody things? Like they made the whole moving from California to Texas parody thing, and the guy like snuck off and was eating some ribs or something, and the wife found out and she was super upset. What's that? Oh crap. I'm totally drawing a blank on the name of that, but I'm sure you guys are typing it in the comment section. Yeah, them. Doesn't this seem like something that they would make? Like it almost feels like parody. Trying to court the MAGA. I'm gonna run it back.
A massive shakeup in Kyiv coming as Putin is trying to court the MAGA GOP in the United States. In fact, one of the leaders of the MAGA GOP is in Moscow tonight. It's the man you see here with the MAGA leader, Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson. Possibly there in Moscow to interview Putin. Definitely there as a Putin-supporting celebrity. Just listen to how Russian state media is breathlessly celebrating his visit.
Independent journalist Tucker Carlson has flown to Russia from the U.S. via Turkey to Vnukovo Airport. He saw Spartacus Ballet at the Bolshoi Theater, had lunch in a nice restaurant, went for a ride around town, rode the subway. He charged his smartphone via a USB port and connected to a fast and free Wi-Fi internet.
He charged his phone, although they're knowing the details about the fact that it was during USB port may give him reason to think twice about all of this. But look at them talking about him like a celebrity. Everything he does on camera, breathlessly repeated. Now, it is unclear if an interview between Putin and Carlson will take.
I mean, he actually is kind of a celebrity, I guess. What he really is a celebrity. Like, he's pretty well known. So, yeah, but this is funny.
Place. But if it does, it gives Putin a chance to sit down with a big supporter.
It might be worth asking yourself, since it is getting pretty serious, what is this really about? Why do I hate Putin so much? Has Putin ever called me a racist? Has he threatened to get me fired for disagreeing with him? Does he eat dogs? These are fair questions, and the answer to all of them is no. Vladimir Putin didn't do any of that.
I'll actually always remember watching that clip. I was standing in Ukraine 48 hours before the war began there. Well, Carlson then stood by Putin consistently all the way through. And that is why he can go to Moscow now without any fear of being summarily imprisoned. He's a hero. This was Putin's mouthpiece in the United States, somebody who had turned a blind eye to the atrocities committed by Putin because they were happening far away.
So yeah, she tried to claim that he's only able to go there because he's a Putin sympathizer. Well, I hope she does realize that there's basketball players that go to Russia and play, i.e. Brittany Griner. The only reason why she was arrested was because she committed a crime. She had been going there for years. And as far as my understanding goes, there's a lot of players that go play in Russia, right? She's not the only one. She's just the only one that got arrested because she was committing the crime. Now, we can go down that whole rabbit hole, but I'll spare you guys that whole conversation for another day. But, you know, it's funny that CNN has that type of response when Tucker Carlson's not the first person to interview Putin. Okay, and we have all of the video clips of these things. Bloomberg.
We believe that this is the right decision for world energy.
So was Bloomberg considered traitors to their country? What about Showtime?
The Western people don't know much about you. You're credited with doing many things. The reform assassination attempts, the real son of Russia. Revolution. Situation room.
You know? What about Showtime? Was Showtime considered traitors to their country for making a documentary on Putin? What about Barbara Walters and ABC?
Inauguration of Vladimir Putin with celebrating halls of the Kremlin. I met with the remarkably open Vladimir Putin.
Oh, remarkably open Vladimir Putin. Was Barbara Walters and ABC considered traitors to, or what? Yeah, were they considered traitors to their country for interviewing Putin? What about Megyn Kelly? Let's get a shot where she's actually in it. There we go. So you saw her there. What about Megyn Kelly? She considered a traitor to her country for interviewing Putin. You know, like this stuff is just absolutely insane. It's insane. You know, and Putin isn't the only controversial, right, figure that's ever been interviewed. Did you know Osama bin Laden was interviewed? What about El Chapo? CNN interviewed bin Laden. Sean Penn interviewed El Chapo. Interesting. Oh, and what about this photo? What about this photo? What happened? She's a traitor. She took a photo with the man. She posed and smiled. How dare her? How dare her? You know, but the beautiful thing that has come out of this is this. So, as you guys know, I've said this time and time again. One of the things that I always do is I go to the comment section. And so CNN had posted that clip, right? Or at least a piece of it on Instagram. Okay. And of course, I follow CNN on Instagram, unfortunately. But, you know, I got to do what I got to do. You know, I got to bring these stories to y'all. So I follow them all. Well, they posted it. And of course, I went to the comment section and I read a little bit. And you might be surprised what people were saying. Check it out. So, as you see here, CNN's Aaron Burnett describes the coverage of far-right journalist Tucker Carlson's visit to Russia.
Carlson, independent journalist.
So yeah, this is the same clip that you guys, or that I just showed you guys a minute ago. This is just in Instagram format, you know, vertical format. So here's the top comment. Oh, CNN, hush. He's a journalist. He can interview whoever he wants. Did anyone freak out when Vice News interviews is? Let's all watch the interview and see what's said. CNN complaining about free press and journalism. Imagine that. Why CNN so triggered over this? Can't wait for the interview. Thanks for the update. I don't believe their Wi-Fi is fast and free. If you got to promote that, it ain't real. Okay, there's one somewhat negative one, I guess. Far right, LOL. If you don't know what LOL means, it means laugh out loud. Like, what a joke, you know? So you're saying, like, what a load of crap that she calls it far right. So basically, CNN is jealous. The hate this media outlet spreads is unmeasurable. Liberals are just vile people. I'm not about to read this whole long one. If your own president can't broker peace, we'll send somebody else. Wait till CNN finds out that Bernie Sanders went there for his honeymoon. Bernie Sanders went to Russia for his honeymoon? Is that true? He's a real journalist. Take a lesson. Sitting down with Putin and understanding his perspectives is one more step closer to potential peace, CNN. People, imagine that. You need to hear every side. Everyone can condemn, but not everyone can hear and understand. He's doing his job in interviewing people. Laughing emoji. Oh, CNN. Oh, well, this is the same one. Wait, are these repeating? What in the world? Propaganda running rampant already. Dang. So basically CNN is jealous. Yeah, it looks like some of these are repeating. What in the world? How do I see the rest of these? CNN is unfortunately becoming completely propaganda. He's doing his job and interviewing people. What a joke. CNN, cry me a river. So you saw it there. You get the overall message, right? People aren't buying the BS. Nobody's buying it. You saw it, right? Literally, there was maybe one comment in support of CNN there. And that's on CNN's page. That's on CNN's Instagram account. You saw it. That's on their account. So, you know, it's just interesting how they try to push that narrative when other people have interviewed Putin previously. Right? You know, like some of the folks said, like he's doing his job. He's conducting interviews. What's wrong with hearing someone's perspective? What's wrong with that? I'll tell you what's wrong with that. CNN and mainstream media can't control the narrative. That's what's wrong with it. They don't get to control what you hear or see from that man. They don't get to control it. Tucker gets to control it, right? Tucker gets to post what he wants to post from the interview. Tucker gets to ask the types of questions that he wants to ask. It's not carefully curated and, you know, put together and spliced the way that they would like. That's the problem. That's the problem. They don't control it. That's what I think. That's what I think. I think the answer to that one is pretty simple. They don't control it. And you know, the funny part about this is Tucker was going to interview Putin a while ago. And some interesting things happened. But I'll let Tucker tell you. Check it out.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Last Monday, we told you that the Biden administration's largest intelligence gathering agency, the NSA, had been reading my private emails. Even saying that out loud is weird. It's one of those segments we never thought we would do ever. But the country has changed that much that fast. And honestly, the whole thing was kind of shocking. The government was spying on us? Come on. It seemed crazy. But it's true. And no one in Washington appeared to be shocked in the slightest. In fact, the usual shills right after our segment had a ready explanation for it. Either it never happened at all, they said, just a cable news show lying for ratings, or there must have been a good reason it happened. And they began furiously making excuses for why the NSA did it. A powerful, heavily politicized spy agency surveilling journalists who've been critical of the regime? No problem. It's perfectly normal. Just don't call it spying. But it's not normal at all. It is third world. And as we told you repeatedly, it did happen. Now that has been confirmed. Yesterday, we learned that sources in the so-called intelligence community told at least one reporter in Washington what was in those emails, my emails. There was nothing scandalous in there, thank God. We're happy to report that. Late this spring, I contacted a couple of people I thought could help get us an interview with Russian President Vladimir Putin. I told nobody I was doing this other than my executive producer, Justin Wells. I wasn't embarrassed about trying to interview Putin. He's obviously newsworthy. I'm an American citizen. I can interview anyone I want, and I plan to. But still, in this case, I decided to keep it quiet. I figured that any kind of publicity would rattle the Russians and make the interview less likely to happen. But the Biden administration found out anyway by reading my emails. I learned from a whistleblower that the NSA planned to leak the contents of those emails to media outlets. Why would they do that? Well, the point, of course, was to paint me as a disloyal American, a Russian operative, been called that before, a stooge of the Kremlin, a traitor doing the bidding of a foreign adversary. And of course, I'm hardly the only person who's been accused of those things in the last several years. We've seen this movie several times now. At the same moment the communist Chinese government increases its already stunning level of control over this country, our leaders prattle on about the threat of Vladimir Putin. He's an evildoer, they tell us, a totalitarian dictator. Vladimir Putin does things that no American leader would even consider. He runs domestic disinformation campaigns. He lies to the public. He punishes people for opposing him or for believing the wrong things. He even uses intelligence agencies to spy on his own citizens. Beyond the pale stuff. So no decent American would interview Vladimir Putin, at least no reporter from Fox News. That was the point they wanted to make. That's why they planned to leak the contents of my emails to news organizations. And yesterday, as noted, we learned they actually did it. Even now, some in the media are claiming that we deserve this. Emailing with people who know Putin, are you? Of course the NSA is watching you. That's what you get. But that's hardly the point. By law, the NSA is required to keep secret the identities of American citizens who've been caught up in its vast domestic spying operations. So by law, I should have been identified internally merely as a U.S. journalist or American journalist. That's the law. But that's not how I was identified. I was identified by name. I was unmasked. People in the building learned who I was. And then my name and the contents of my emails left that building at the NSA and wound up with a news organization in Washington. That is illegal. In fact, it is precisely what this law was designed to prevent in the first place. We cannot have intelligence agencies used as instruments of political control. Both parties used to agree on that. Democrats were especially adamant on the point, but not anymore. So that's exactly what is happening here. We need to find out how this happened. Who did it? Who allowed it? Paul Nakasone would know the answer. Paul Nakasone is the highly political director of the NSA. Paul Nakasone would have been required personally to approve my unmasking. That's how it works.
So yeah, not the first time. Not the first time. Y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.